Alright, here I am at the 186th Street Railroad Crossing in Lansing, Illinois. So this crossing right here is a rather substantial crossing owned by the CSX Elston subdivision, which is a CSX line that the CN South Bend subdivision turns into once you head into through the Illinois-Indiana border. And since me and the boys were basically down here for a little bit, we decided to stop over here and check out like a few other crossings, and I was going to tour a few of them just for fun and hopefully catch something here. So yeah, and this does feature a few cool things, but it's a pretty regular crossing owned by CSX, so I guess with all that said, I'll explain as I go on. So with that said, let's get on to it. So first of all, as you can see from the sign at the beginning, this crossing is a quiet zone, and you can see a do not stop on track sign and a little divider in the road. But yeah, I guess with that out of the way, let's get onto the equipment. So for the first signal, this has a Western Cullen Hayes double-sided base, which sits on this little pipe right here, and also this little platform is attached to it for the signal maintainers, which is cool. And here's the emergency information in the dot tag, and the dot number is 283191T. You know, pretty neat stuff. This is like a newer mast too. Looks like to be a recent install. And for the gate mechanism, this has a Siemens gate mechanism with the stamped logo. And this features some NEG LED gate lights, no wind guard on this one. I believe those are NEG. But yeah. And for the lights on this one, this has two pairs of Western Cullen Hayes 12x24-inch second generation LEDs with the flat back light heads. And I believe these are sitting on a Western Cullen Hayes light bracket. And for a bell, which is attached right to the light bracket, this has an NEG electronic bell. As you can see, the National Electric Gate logo right there. And you can see that this NEG e-bell might be one of the older generation ones. Or maybe it's in like a General Signals styled shell, because you can see that the base is pretty chopped up. But you can clearly see the logo up there. And if you notice, this gate right here, the gate itself is also an NEG gate, which is pretty cool. You can see the gate arm bracket that faces towards the tracks. Well, tells you where you should face it. But yeah, that was the first signal. Pretty neat stuff, I have to say. Now let's go ahead and cross the road here and tour the second signal, which is kind of a ways away. And as you can see, it is currently snowing out here, which is okay, but it's not too cold though. And I know the video might be a little shaky, but hopefully auto stabilization saves me. But anyways, I guess with that unrelated stuff out of the way, here's the second signal, which is somewhat similar to the first. This has another Western Cullen Hayes double-sided base. And here's the emergency information once again. And for the gate mechanism, this has another Siemens gate mechanism with the stamped logo. And this features some more NEG LED gate lights and no wind guard. Or actually, are those Ricoh? Actually, never mind that. These are Ricoh LED gate lights, not NEG, as you can see. No wind guard on this one gate for this gate either. And I believe this is also another NEG gate too. But yeah. And for the lights on this one, once again, as you can see, there's another platform for the maintainers. Pretty cool. Anyways, as I was saying, for the lights on this one, this has two more pairs of Western Cullen Hayes 12x24-inch second generation LEDs sitting on another Western Cullen Hayes light bracket, I believe. Because once again, for the bell on this one, which is attached right to the light bracket, this has a Western Cullen Hayes electronic bell. Not sure of what type, probably a type 4 if I had to guess, since this looks like a recent install. But yeah, so there's the second signal for you. So yeah, pretty neat stuff. Little neat bell combo. Shame that this crossing is kind of a shame that this crossing is a quiet zone, but you know, still pretty cool to see nonetheless. So yeah, that right there was the 186th Street Railroad Crossing for the, you know, in terms of equipment, that was 186th Street. Here's the relay case, you know, sitting at milepost 29.42. Actually, no, I think that's just something else, not the milepost, but yeah, I guess with all that said, actually, yeah, I think that is the milepost. So yeah, I guess with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the track views. Down there is heading west towards a couple more crossings, heading towards Torrance Avenue and Ridge Road, that is. And as you can see, there's a couple of incandescent color light signals, which are automatic and approach lit. As you can see, they're currently in the dark state right now. Pretty neat stuff. But yeah, and down there is heading east towards a couple more crossings, and eventually back towards the Indiana-Illinois border, where this line will turn back to the CN South Bend Sub, because those two crossings down there are the last two crossings you hit before going back to Indiana. And you can see the little whistle post that is crossed out because this place is a quiet zone. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I guess with all that said, this was the 186th Street Railroad crossing in Lansing, Illinois. Pretty neat stuff, I have to say. This is probably I think this is actually my very first crossing I've ever toured in Illinois. Excuse me. But yeah. So I guess with all that said and done for now, over and out.